A while ago, I watched a video on Urban Reign, a beat-em-up that turned into a rather complicated fighting game about positioning, special moves, tells, and even balancing teamwork and individual abilities. Urban Decay is an Osprey game written by John Matthew DeFoe and published in 2023. If that name sounds familiar, it's because DeFoe wrote Jackals, a Bronze Age RuneQuest heartbreaker about the fantasy Levant. The pivot to Urban Decay was unique, and using the same system for everything was a choice. The Clash system, though, is a D100 game at its core, a streamlined one at that. They are so similar, and sometimes the trained monkeys that make up Osprey's proofreading team let blatant copy-pastes and other bizarre errors into the book. I'd be laughing if it wasn't so miserable. But let's get to the point here. Anytime you want to do something, you're going to be making a D100 check. There are a lot of skills, and they are pretty basic. Very basic, in a matter of fact. About a third of these being some variety of hand-to-hand combat, with most of the others being either related to combat or a curated list of non-combat ones. You get most skills right off the bat, with around 30 to 50% in there before the game even begins, except guns, because real heroes don't use guns. Because they suck. Now we get through our life path, which is a pick and choose with about 6 options per category. Each of these grants bonuses to your skills: archetype, background, training, and code. So John Yakuza would be a strong criminal fighter and stoic, granting all of these bonuses. Each of these would also provide a trait, which most of them are either roll extra ones, place die, do something you normally can't, or just some little bonuses. Alternatively, you can have an entire text box thrown at you for what it is. One of the bigger ideas, though, is your crew, which grants you a bonus skill of 20% and may produce momentum, allowing you to go that little extra beyond or stop you from having a violent death. John Yakuza is part of a street squad because the no crime Yakuza is not an option. Do some final customizations and bingo, your character is done. Nothing complicated, but nothing really jumping out either. Ignore the equipment section though, the more you look at it, the worse it gets. Once we're done here though, the rest of the Clash system works. Criticals on dubs, Clash points for combat, weapons being generic and also essential, and a few other notes and things to it. Something at the heart of Urban Decay is missing though. Rewatching the Jackals video, I recalled the reasons I liked it was because everything's slotted together nicely. But Urban Decay feels stapled together, disparate ideas and concepts that aren't explored or things that are just missing. We'll take momentum as an example, a brand new meta currency that your crew can use to help, being countered by the GM's domination pool, of course. These let you push yourself, rerolls, not dying, which is fine, but then fleeing is introduced, otherwise known as you lose the level. When you run away, you are surrendering, as the game is built on the idea of levels being strung together to fight a final boss, like a video game, a mediocre video game. Jackals is a game about a wandering band of hopefuls as they rise in power and influence. Urban Decay is Streets of Mortal Kombat Fighter Z, the video game, the tabletop role-playing game. That arcade video doesn't sing to me because it kind of forgets it's a TTRPG rather than just a video game that is now on the table. Combat still has a similar beat, if not flow, to Jackals, using Clash points to defend yourself as well as perform more exotic moves. But most of it also feels very neutered. The thematics are lost from Jackals as the game tries to be a beat 'em up with the only real 2 moves being light attack, heavy attack, and maybe a grapple. Something more to this could have been appreciated, but it feels like a step back instead. But don't worry, the health system is still there, so get ready to manage 2 health bars, cause fuck you. I talked about Urban Reign at the start of this, a game that was surprisingly deep for something as simplistic as it was. The timing of special arts, different combo techniques, learning when to juggle or quickly switch to another enemy, keeping distance while learning when to go in for a kill. Hell, even the differences in fighting styles. Watching it made me realize what Urban Decay could have been, and really what it wasn't. Hell, I'd even take a Yakuza game with its equally stylish and brutal combat. Imagine using clash points to perform heat action, or switch combat styles, or just abuse the local bike population to beat the shit out of people. What we have now feels less than it should. I wanted a brawler TTRPG, a bare-knuckle beatdown against the boss as we both dramatically rip our shirts off to fistfight one another to the death. What I got was a worse version of a game I already liked. My name is Notepad Add-on, and this was Urban Decay. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe as always. Many thanks to the White Room and the Plutocrats for their continued support. Godspeed and good luck.